Hello, my beloved brothers and sisters of Shepherd and Harvest. We continue our series of Rebuke of Humanity by going now into Genesis 1. Now, in the last video, we went over how God spoke or created through the Word. And so now, with keeping John 1 through 5 in mind, we go into Genesis 1. Okay? Now, before we do this, there is something that we need to understand. Okay? When I talk about how I recommend starting with the wisdom books and then going into the Gospels and Acts before then reading the Bible as a whole, as I've talked about before, it's for this reason. Excuse me. Through the wisdom books, you see in Job that God is in complete control and does everything for everybody for a reason. That there's things that happen that we will never know of, but are happening for us and for everybody else. And then you go through into the Psalms, and you've gotten prayers upon prayers for every circumstance in your life. And then you go into Proverbs that talks about how you need to be willing to accept rebukes, and that the wise have their minds open to taking in criticism, and how to properly manage your money, and how to properly worship and treat your spouse, and how to raise your family. And then you go into Ecclesiastes, which shows you that even though you are Christian, even though that you follow the commandments and the Beatitudes and the law, that doesn't mean that you're going to have riches fall out of the sky and into your lap, that you're going to be wealthy beyond all means in the physical world. And then you go into Song of Songs, which is a love letter from God to you, and how we should seek the Father. And that comes before anything. But what that also shows is how your wife and you should treat each other, because God gave you your spouse for a reason. What God brings together, only He can separate, but He does not want you to separate from your spouse. And so He gives you a love letter of how much He loves you, how much Christ loves you, how much the Spirit loves you, and that you should love your spouse in that same way. And so with those wisdom books in mind, you go into the Gospels and Acts. Now, I recommend that you start with John, then Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Acts. And I do it that way because, as we read in John 1, that really comes before everything. He's going all the way back to what we're going to be reading here in Genesis. And then Matthew goes through his entire genealogy, Christ's entire genealogy, from his birth all the way to what John just talked about. And then in Mark, you see Christ's power. And then with Luke, you got Luke, and then Luke part 2, technically, Acts, because Luke wrote Acts as well. So it's just one continuous story. Excuse me. And the thing that you have to keep in mind when you're reading the Gospels is that each Gospel is just giving you a different profile of Christ. John, let me see if I can remember this right, and I apologize if I butcher it. John writes about Christ as God. Matthew writes about Christ as the Son of Man. Mark writes about Christ as a king. And Luke writes about Christ as a servant. And that's because John is more writing to everybody. Matthew is writing primarily to the Jews. That's why he talks the most about prophecy being fulfilled. Mark writes or is writing primarily to Romans. And at that time, Rome is considered or only cares about power. So that's why he writes about Christ as king. And Luke is writing primarily towards the Greeks, which is why he is writing primarily about the wisdom of Jesus and him being a servant. Because that is Greek culture. I hope I said that right. Something along those lines. I'm pretty sure that that's right. But then once you read those 5 books, then you're able to go all the way to the beginning, like we're going to here in Genesis 1. And as you go through the Old Testament, you will start seeing Christ in every book and in every instance. That everything in the Old Testament is being done to lead us to that moment in the Gospels. And then as you read through the New Testament, you see God preparing us for what is to come in Revelation. And so, my brothers and sisters, we go to the beginning. Genesis 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was formless and empty. Darkness was on the surface of the deep, and God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. God saw the light and saw that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. There was evening, and there was morning the first day. God said, "Let there be an expanse in the middle of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." God made the expanse and divided the waters which were under the expanse from the waters which were above the expanse. And it was so. And God called the expanse sky. There was evening and there was morning, a second day. God said, "Let the waters under the sky be gathered into one place, and let the dry land appear." And it was so. And God called the dry land earth, and gathering together the waters he called seas. God saw that it was good. And God said, "Let the earth yield grass, herbs yielding seeds, and fruit trees bearing fruit after their kind, and their seeds, and with their seeds in it on the earth." And it was so. The earth yielded grass, herbs yielding seeds after their kind, and trees bearing fruit with seeds in it after their kind. And God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a third day. God said, "Let there be lights in the expanse of the sky to divide the day from the night, and let them be for the signs to mark seasons, days, and years. And let them be for lights in the expanse of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. God made the two great lights, a greater light to rule the day, and a lesser light to rule the night. He also made the stars. God set them in the expanse of the sky to give light to the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. God saw that it was good. There was evening and there was morning, a fourth day. God said, "Let the waters abound with living creatures, and let the birds fly above the earth in the open expanse of the sky." God created the large sea creatures and every living creature that moves, with which the waters swarmed after their kind, and every winged bird after its kind. God saw that it was good. God blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the birds multiply on the earth." There was evening and there was morning, a fifth day. God said, "Let the earth produce living creatures after their kind, livestock, creeping things, and animals of the earth after their kind." And it was so. God made the animals of the earth after their kind, and the livestock after their kind, and everything that creeps on the ground after its kind. God saw that it was good. God said, "Let's make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." God created man in his own image. In God's image he created him, male and female. He created them. God blessed them. God said to them, "Be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." God said, "Behold, I have given you every herb yielding seed, which is on the surface of all the earth, and every tree which bears fruit yielding seed. It will be your food. To every animal of the earth, and to every bird of the sky, and to everything that creeps on the earth, in which there is life, I have given every green herb for food." And it was so. God saw that everything he made, God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. There was evening and there was morning, a sixth day. And what we have to remember is all this, all of Genesis, was given to Moses on Mount Sinai, along with the commandments and the laws, during his 40 days with God. Now, this one we're definitely going to be breaking into separate videos. But let us start and I'll end it here soon. And well, we'll pick up where we left off. So, as it is written, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Now, as we talked about, God is not a created being. So he is not Mother Earth. He is not the universe. He is not the trees or animals on a totem pole. He is not Muhammad. He is not Buddha. He is not Krishna. He is not the gods of Olympus or of Asgard. No, he is the creator. So he is separated from creation. He is in creation. He's with us always. And as I said in the last video, if you pray in the Spirit to feel the Spirit of the Lord upon you, you will begin to feel him with you and not just know that he is there. But he created everything that we see. Now I want to draw you to the word heavens, that he created the heavens. And as we will read in Revelation, and by all means, as I always say, I encourage you, go look everything up for yourself. Don't just take a pastor's word. Don't just take my word. Don't take any digital disciple's word. Read for yourself. But you will see that God created the heavens and the earth. And in Revelation, you will see that the heavens, that the old heavens and that the old earth pass away. And that a new heaven and earth and a new Jerusalem take its place. Now, there are levels to heaven. And as we will read in Job, if you please go read yourself, that there is a level in heaven in which Satan is still allowed to come to. But he is not able to go any higher. Just as the tabernacle has its not levels, because it's it's all on one level, but it has its parts, so does heaven. That there is only so far that beings are able to go. Now in the next verse, as it is written, the earth was formless and empty. Darkness was on the surface of the deep, and God's Spirit was hovering over the surface of the waters. So if you close your eyes and you just picture this, and you pray, again, as you pray in the Spirit, that you see just a watery orb, or for you flat earthers, a watery plane, excuse me, that there is no light. That the only light that you see is the Spirit of God. And he's hovering over the depths of the earth. And all of the mystery that's underneath. Now, it's not mysterious to him, but it sure is mysterious to us. I mean, we don't know what's all in the depths of the ocean, from one end to the other, and from the surface all the way down. And so God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Now, taking what we read in John, that through Christ, because again, Christ is with God, Christ is God. God is saying through Christ, "Let there be light." And so with Christ, there is light. Not the sun, not the moon. We're not there yet. Just light. Just like within us. Think of yourself as everything that you see is the surface of the water. And the depths of the water is everything inside of you. And so when you come to God, when you turn and grab Christ's hand and are baptized by the Spirit now within you is that shining light across all the darkness that there was. And you can't hide anything within you from the Father. Because he's been there from the beginning. Whoop. Such a small thing with the screen. Whoop. It's actually beyond all that. But he's from the beginning to the end. He's already everything in between. You put your arms out and you have the beginning over here and the end over here. And everything in between, he's already there. I'm trying to give you that visualization so you can understand that you can't, that once whether you come to God or not, he knows everything that's going on. From the time that he wove you together in your mother's womb to this moment in your life, he's been there, whether you choose to accept it or not. And he already knows when you're going to die. And he's giving you every opportunity from the time that you're born to the time that you die to come to him, to choose in your heart to walk that narrow path. To say, "Christ, please open that gate, call my name, and let me walk that narrow path to the Father, to the kingdom tomorrow. That today I live for you, for your glory, not mine." God saw the light and saw that it was good. God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and he called the darkness night. There was evening, and there is morning, and the first day is over. My beloved brothers and sisters, this is the overall, if you think of it, this is the umbrella that covers the saying that God is greater than our problems. That just here in this first day, the fact that God chose with all the love in his heart to create this earth that we are on and to give us light and to give us life means that no matter what you're going through today, that the Spirit who is within you, that He is greater than all the problems that are outside of you. That you are no longer in the darkness. That light is shining outside of you. And that on that narrow path, you are somebody's light post on that path. That we are a shining beacon that is drawing others out of the world. So with the first day, I leave you, my beloved brothers and sisters. And remember, I'm not here for me, I'm here for you. And I love you as God loves you.